SpongeBob's most controversial episode finally solved. SpongeBob SquarePants is usually a whirlwind of silly laughs and underwater antics, but every so often it sneaks in an episode that hits differently. Midlife Crustacean, which aired back in 2003, is one of those episodes. Innocent on the surface but so controversial it got banned by Nickelodeon after more than a decade on air. Fans have whispered theories, dissected scenes, and argued over why this episode sparked such a fuss. To figure out what went down, let's rewind to the story itself and explore why this tale of Mr. Krabs' midlife crisis left such a lasting mark. The episode kicks off with a quieter vibe than your typical SpongeBob romp. For one, SpongeBob's not stealing the spotlight. It's all about Mr. Eugene H. Krabs, the penny-pinching owner of the Krusty Krab. He wakes up to a song about creaking bones and old age, crooned in that classic SpongeBob style where even a throwaway tune feels like it's hiding something deeper. At first, it's just a goofy jab at getting older, but what if it's more? What if it's the show dropping a hint about Mr. Krabs' headspace before he even opens his mouth? The camera zooms in tight, catching a flicker of doubt in his beady eyes, and then he pops the question to his teenage daughter. "Pearl, am I getting old?" She doesn't sugarcoat it. "Yes," she says, blunt as a hammer. She doesn't mean to hurt him, but ouch, that one lands hard.
Pearl, do you think I'm old?
Well, of course I do, but that's okay. Daddies are supposed to be old.
That single word sticks with him, burrowing into his mind like a barnacle and setting him on a path to some wild, questionable choices. Mr. Krabs tries to shake it off, telling himself he's still the same spry crab he's always been. Sharp, tough, and full of life. But the world's got other ideas, and it's not subtle about it. It's like Bikini Bottom's out to remind him he's not young anymore, hitting him with one blow after another. First, a Boy Scout grabs his arm to help him cross the street, treating him like he's one claw away from a nursing home. Then, a stranger snaps at him for moving too slow, even though there's plenty of room to pass. And the final gut punch? A group of kids shuts him out of their game without a second thought, like he's invisible. These little moments pile up, each one chipping away at his confidence until he's standing in front of a cemetery, staring at the gravestones. It's not just about feeling older, it's about feeling closer to the end. That's when the midlife crustacean crisis hits full force, and Mr. Krabs is desperate for a way out. Enter SpongeBob and Patrick, the show's resident goofballs, chatting about their big night out. To Mr. Krabs, it sounds thrilling, mysterious, maybe even a little dangerous. It's the lifeline he needs to pull himself out of this rut. He begs to tag along and they agree. But there's a catch. He's got to know the cool young handshake. He braces for something wild, maybe a secret code or a complicated dance. But it's just a regular handshake. That's it. He's in. It feels almost too easy, like the universe is giving him a shot to reclaim his youth. In his mind, the plan's foolproof. Hang with the young crowd, do what they do, feel alive again. What could go wrong? Science backs him up here. Studies like ones you'd find on psychology blogs say revisiting childhood activities can boost happiness, cut stress, and make you feel like your old self. Sounds perfect, right? Except this is SpongeBob, and nothing ever goes as planned. The night starts with SpongeBob and Patrick pedaling a bike, towing Mr. Krabs behind in a rickety wagon. It's not exactly a hot rod, but it's a start, and for a moment he feels a spark of being part of their world. Their first stop? The Wash. Mr. Krabs is picturing a pulsing nightclub, lights flashing, music thumping, the whole deal. Instead, they roll up to a laundromat, where rows of washing machines spin clothes like it's the hottest show in town. SpongeBob and Patrick stare at the suds like it's a blockbuster movie. But Mr. Krabs is baffled. This is their big night out? He tries to play along, forcing a smile, but it's clear this isn't the thrill he was chasing. He wants something bold, something to make his old crab heart race again. SpongeBob, thinking he's got the answer, drags him to the next activity, digging through trash. Yep, you heard that right, sifting through garbage like it's a treasure hunt. Mr. Krabs goes along hoping for a spark, but it's just more of the same. Weird, tame, and not even close to exciting. The night keeps rolling, but it's one letdown after another. They hit a kiddie pool where Patrick somehow makes things even weirder by flopping around like a starfish out of water. Then it's a clam ride outside a dentist's office, followed by helping some random fish put a roof on a house. They even sit quietly at a library table for a game of Dungeons and Dragons. Each stop is harmless, kid-friendly, and totally missing the mark. Mr. Krabs isn't feeling young, he's feeling bored out of his shell. The breaking point comes at a kid's arcade where Mr. Krabs, decked out in a clown hat for some bizarre ring-around game, finally snaps. The fun's gone, his patience is shot, and he lets loose. He shoves the kids aside, not exactly SpongeBob's usual slapstick, and unloads on SpongeBob and Patrick, calling them lame, geeks, babies, you name it. It's a harsh outburst, especially since he's the one who begged to join their night out. Why the meltdown? He's been chasing a feeling all night, and every stop has been a dud. He's not just disappointed, he's humiliated, stuck in a clown hat while kids laugh around him. It's like the universe is rubbing his age in his face. Just when the night seems over, Patrick throws out one last idea, a panty raid. The words hit like a lightning bolt. Mr. Krabs' eyes light up. His mood flips, and he's all in, no questions asked. They sneak up to a house, set up a ladder, and climb in through a window. It's dark, quiet, and a little too real. They creep through the room, opening drawers until Mr. Krabs finds his prize, purple and yellow polka dot underwear. For the first time all night, he feels it. The rush, the thrill, the youth he's been chasing. He's alive again, holding that underwear like it's a trophy. Then the light flips on. Standing there, unimpressed, is his mother, Mama Krabs. Yep, they've broken into her house. The thrill vanishes faster than a Krabby Patty at a buffet. Mr. Krabs is mortified, standing there with his mom's underwear in his claws. Instead of celebrating his big moment, he's sent straight to his childhood bedroom, grounded like he's a naughty kid again. Here's the wild part. He's okay with it, being scolded, stripped of his adult authority, and tucked back into a world where someone else calls the shots. It's exactly what he was chasing. That midlife crisis? For now, it feels cured. He's back to being a kid, even if it's just for a night. But there's a detail that twists the knife. SpongeBob and Patrick knew it was Mama Krabs' house. When he confronts them, they shrug and say, "You didn't ask." Hold up, what? That one line changes everything. Go back to the sequence. Patrick only suggested the panty raid after Mr. Krabs insulted them, calling them lame and nerdy. The timing's no accident. It feels like a setup, like they wanted to get a last laugh out of his outburst. And then SpongeBob drops the bomb that they score all the time at this house. Excuse me? That means this isn't a one-off prank. They've done this before, sneaking into Mama Krabs' house like it's their personal playground. Suddenly, the show's most wholesome duo isn't looking so wholesome. They're not just goofy anymore, they're scheming, maybe even a little vindictive. It's a side of SpongeBob and Patrick we don't see often, and it's unsettling. Why does midlife crustacean stick in people's minds like a barnacle on a ship? It's not just the big twist at the end, it's the whole vibe. The episode pushes boundaries in ways SpongeBob usually doesn't. Take the arcade scene. Mr. Krabs flinging kids across the room is played for laughs, but it's more aggressive than the show's typical goofy pratfalls. Then there are the adult-leaning jokes sprinkled throughout, like the panty raid phrase itself. Kids might giggle and move on, but older viewers catch the suggestive undertone, the sly delivery, the way it dances on the edge of inappropriate. It's subtle enough to slip past younger audiences, but blatant enough to make parents raise an eyebrow. And that final twist? Sure, it's safe because it's Mama Krabs' underwear, not a stranger's, but the setup still revolves around breaking into a house and stealing something private. That's a tough one to explain to a kid asking, "What's a panty raid?" The episode's tone is what makes it so unforgettable. It feels like SpongeBob, same goofy characters, same colorful world, but there's a shadow hanging over it. It's like the show's trying to be its usual silly self while flirting with something darker, more mature. That tension between familiar humor and uneasy subject matter is what sparks endless debates. Was it a clever push against the show's kid-friendly boundaries, or did it cross a line? The mix of Mr. Krabs' desperate quest to feel young, the questionable choices, and SpongeBob and Patrick's sneaky revenge plot creates a vibe that's both funny and uncomfortable. Like laughing at a joke you're not sure you should have heard. The controversy came to a head in 2018 when Nickelodeon quietly pulled Midlife Crustacean from air. For over 15 years, it had aired without a peep, no major complaints, no headlines. It ran in marathons, popped up on DVDs, and lived in the SpongeBob catalog like any other episode. Then, poof, gone. Nickelodeon's explanation was short and sweet. The episode was inappropriate for young children. The panty raid scene was the obvious culprit. Even with the mama twist, the idea of sneaking into a house to steal underwear is a hard sell for a kid's show. Parents watching with their kids might have cringed, imagining the question they'd have to dodge. In the real world, breaking into someone's home is illegal, and framing it as a prank, even a cartoon one, could send the wrong message. But it wasn't just about one scene. By 2018, the world had changed. Social media was amplifying everything, and cultural sensitivity was under a microscope. Cancel culture was gaining steam, and networks like Nickelodeon were rethinking old content that might look tone-deaf today. An episode with adult-leaning humor and morally gray character choices was a risk, especially for a show built on being a safe, wholesome space for kids. You can imagine the emails piling up in Nickelodeon's inbox. Parents pointing out that the panty raid, revenge plot, and aggressive arcade scene didn't vibe with SpongeBob's family-friendly brand. Defending it would mean explaining why their beloved characters were acting like delinquents, and that's a PR nightmare no network wants. Still, fans couldn't help but ask, why now? Why ban an episode that had been airing since January 24th, 2003 without a hitch? If it was such a problem, why was it greenlit in the first place? The gap between its long run and sudden removal only fueled the mystery. Some speculated it was a preemptive move, Nickelodeon getting ahead of potential backlash in a world where one viral clip could spark a firestorm. Others pointed to the characters themselves. SpongeBob and Patrick are the heart of the show, the moral safe zone kids and parents trust. Their entire brand, think lunchboxes, t-shirts, and theme park rides, rests on their innocence. But in Midlife Crustacean, they're not innocent. They plan the raid, lead it, and admit to doing it before. That's a problem when your characters are supposed to be the gold standard of wholesome. One out-of-context clip online could reshape how people see them. And for a studio banking on their squeaky clean image, that's a gamble not worth taking. From a corporate angle, it's simple math. The risk of backlash, the hit to brand trust, and the potential damage to SpongeBob's kid-friendly rep outweighed the nostalgia of keeping the episode in rotation. Pulling it was the cleanest move. No fuss, no public debate, just gone. But when the ban went public, the internet lost it. Fans were furious, flooding forums and social media with rants. Polls on sites like Reddit and X showed most viewers thought the ban was overblown. They argued the panty raid wasn't the scandal it was made out to be. It was a bait and switch, not an endorsement of bad behavior. The humor came from the absurd twist that it was Mama Crab's house, not some random strangers. To them, it was classic SpongeBob surrealism, flipping expectations for a laugh, not promoting anything shady. Others took a practical stance. Banning an episode after 15 years of airtime, DVDs, and online uploads was pointless. Anyone could still find it on old recordings, YouTube clips, or shady streaming sites. Pulling it from Nickelodeon's official channels and Paramount Plus pre-2023 felt like a symbolic gesture at best. If anything, the ban made people more curious, driving fans to hunt down the episode to see what the fuss was about. Then, in 2023, Midlife Crustacean made a sneaky comeback. Without a press release or fanfare, it popped up on Paramount Plus's streaming catalog, sitting there like it had never left. Fans went wild with theories. Some said the backlash worked. Nickelodeon saw the ban was drawing more attention than the episode itself and caved. Others figured streaming changed the game. In a world where everything's online, hiding an old SpongeBob episode was futile. People were watching it anyway, so why not cash in? The simplest theory? It's all about the views. Controversial or not, Midlife Crustacean pulls an audience. People love the drama, the debate, the chance to revisit a forbidden episode. And where there's viewership, there's money. Why does this episode matter so much? It's not just another SpongeBob story. It's a lightning rod. It splits fans like few others, blending absurd comedy with uncomfortable boundary pushing in a way that feels like an accidental social experiment. It dares to show SpongeBob and Patrick in a new light, scheming and vengeful, not just goofy. It digs into Mr. Krabs' desperation to feel young, leaving room for interpretations that go beyond the laughs. The aggressive humor, adult-leaning jokes, and that infamous panty raid create a tension that's hard to shake. Even during the ban, it lived on in memes, X-posts, and heated fan debates, never truly gone. Now that it's back, it's more than just an episode. It's a reminder that even a show built on slapstick and nonsense has limits. And when those limits are tested, the fallout can ripple for years.